All right, welcome to Beyond Soup, where I put up all sorts of stuff. Today we have the Sony CDP CX355 300 disc mega storage CD changer. I wanted to show you how this unit is functioning. Actually, I'm going to show you how to fix it because when you plug it in, it makes that sound. And I already know that the belts for the carousel and the CD loading mechanism is broken. So we're gonna have to take a look at that. And then there's three total belts on these units. The two that I just mentioned, and then one for the door. A lot of times the door doesn't have any issues. It's usually the two belts that are in the back that I'll show you, but I'll even show you how to access and possibly swap that belt out for the door if that's the issue with yours. So let's hit this. Okay, so that's not working either. So that just means that maybe the belt for the door is also broken. So usually if you can hit that button. Okay, so I guess we have our work cut out for us. So let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna take the top off of this thing. There's two on each side, three in the, I think there's three in the back, and then two on top to take the top off. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll pause it for now. Okay, I guess we can just do that really quick. Again, there are two here and then three in the back. One, two, three. Again, I will just, for the sake of time, I'll do this offline. Yeah, I've got all the screws out. Basically, you'll want to lift it open, pull it up, and it will expose the inside of this thing. First thing I look at is usually there's a belt that's connected to here. And as you can see over, okay, it's kind of hard to, all right, so as I pointed out here, there's part of the belt. It's not even supposed to be there. Somehow, there is a, like I said, there's a belt that goes to here, and then there's another wheel to the motor towards the back. Up there, if you could see my fingernail pointing to it. And then there's another belt that controls this mechanism over here. So we're gonna go ahead and access that, but we're gonna have to take off this this piece here, and I don't know if you could see that there is another flywheel there that has another belt there. But anyway, let me go ahead and show you that on how to do this pretty quickly. I've done this multiple times, so I'm kind of used to doing this. But the first thing that I deal with first is you'll have to take these off, and you don't necessarily need to take the ribbon cables out. I just let it dangle. And then we'll also look at the belt that's under here that controls the door. So we'll have to take a look at that as well. So hold on for a sec, and I will try to point my camera towards where we will be working. So let me pause this. Okay, so now that I've got this thing higher in view, obviously you want to turn off the unit, unplug it. We'll need to take these off, and then And then we'll need to take this plastic piece off. Again, I may be pausing this thing again because I don't like to waste the time on how to take off a screw, but I'll at least get started. So this will unlatch like this. It's up to you if you want to take the ribbon cable off or not. And then also there are these connectors right here. I don't typically take them off, but you can. It's not that hard. You can actually just pull it out like that, and then obviously you'll put it back the same way as you just actually force fit it in there. But then you can get access and show, at least for me, to show you what you're looking for here on what to replace. But I'll go ahead and just like I said, I let it dangle. Then we'll take off this screw and then another screw here on the bottom, and this lifts off. And let me do that really quick, and let me pause this. All right, once you've taken out the screws, you'll unlatch this here for the ribbon cable, and you'll lift this off up here, and then on the side as well. There's special holes, and then you'll lift this off like this. Now what you'll find again is what we're trying to get to is that and that. This controls the carousel here to spin, and then that controls this mechanism for the player. So this is the loader part of this player, and it pulls the CD, and but it utilizes that flywheel and the actual motor behind it, and that's what we're going to have to replace. As you can see there, it's already broken off, and usually it's either too loose or melted or broken like this. And unfortunately, this is going to take some bit of time just to clean it up, because as soon as I touch this, it's like gooey. So I want to be careful when I take these off. See how those are going to need to be kind of cleaned up. All right, so let me pause this again. All right, so the next step on this adventure is we are going to take this board off, and there's like 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one right behind this ribbon cable, as well as you might not have, oh yeah, we do. With this unit, we're gonna have to unscrew these, so this piece of board on the bottom is actually going to be moved away. So I'll show you that in a sec, but I'll go ahead and start taking these off. Okay, I'm on my 4th screw here, and on this side, in order to get to the screw up there, you're probably just, the best thing to do is just remove the ribbon cable here. But the good thing is all these screws are the same size, so you don't have to really pay too much attention to which screw is which. But once you get the screws out, the board kind of can come up like this. Okay, so there the board comes up, and then we need to remove this as well. So That's why the screws in the back have to be also removed. Let's go ahead and do that. Let me pause this and remove it. All right, so I removed the 3 screws that are over here. And then what you'll find here is that you can pull it out, but there is a kind of like a holder here that you're going to have to. This is just to tie down, like the tie down. This is just to, so that you can pull this out like so. Okay, so basically again, this allows you to access the bottom belt. Because there is again another cable here, you can detach it so it pops. Hold on for a sec. Let me pause this. Okay, there you go. I've had to remove this. All you have to do is again pull this off. It's harder to do it on the camera, but again, that allows us to pull this back like this, and so we can definitely start accessing that. Okay, like I said, there's a belt that goes here, that goes around there, and then there's a belt that goes around there, and as you can see, it's already a mess. And that's what I was hoping not to have to do, is clean this up, but that's what happens with these really old. This is 2000, I think this is 2003, so it's 22 years old when it comes to this belt. And this is what happens when it gets way too old and it just sticks. Okay, so I got to clean that up. This requires like Q-tips and literally just wiping it off and making sure that not a lot of the goo is stuck on the wheel itself. So you can see there that what we're going to need to remove. Let me see if I could show you a little bit. Okay, so these have to be cleaned up. I use a pick to carefully try to remove it without leaving too much of it on the wheel itself, like that. And I'm a nightmare. Okay, anyway, that is what you need to clean up before replacing, putting in 2 new belts for these things. Okay, so let me go ahead and clean that up, and then hopefully I can get this done quickly and not bore you guys. All right, so this is what I have to put, what I pull out. This is part of the belts that are actually, I'm trying to, okay, there you go. All right, that I need to pull off. And again, I just wanted to show you what this thing looks like. So be ready if you find the belts to be like this. The dream is that the belts are all intact, they're just loose and just, but this is the worst of the worst when it comes to when you've got the belts already melted, and you just have to be patient and literally pull these belts out without making a mess. Don't get it on your clothes, because I don't know if you could see that, what I just did there. I'm hoping that these belts. There it is. Okay. I just gotta be patient and try to clean as much as I can and not leave a lot of residue, because you don't want the new belt to pick up on that, and then your gears are all kind of gooey and might not work well. Okay, so I'll go ahead and clean this up. Just wanted to show you what this process is like. All right, one other step that I can do to make life a little bit easier for me is, if I want to take this off, there's a little kind of a hook here. I can just simply, I hope I'm not blocking this. I can push this off to the side and then pull this whole thing out. Okay, so that little hook right there, you can push it away and then pull this unit out. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And this is what it looks like when you pull it out. Luckily, this one is not too bad. Again, some of that stuff it's stuck on it, so just gotta clean that up. Okay, a lot of times when I do this, there's some grease here that just don't touch that, so you don't have to put additional grease. But I just take Kleenex like this and just to try and wipe that away. Just like that. And then you can use your Q-tips to get in between, as you can see there. Try to get that off. And I try not to rub all the way across so it doesn't smudge. So again, you could take a Q-tip, kind of let it fit in between here, and just lift it when you do. And this is going to require a lot of either Q-tip or a lot of the your Kleenex. But once you get it all kind of like that, and then once you get that off, you'll also take maybe some other cleanser, wet it on top, on the tip of the Q-tip once you've got most of it off, and then so you can clean it all up like that. Okay. All right, so we just have to be patient. Again, I just wanted you to get some tips on how to clean this. You could create your own way, but at least for me, this is how I go ahead and clean this up. All right, another additional tip here is when I use a Q-tip, I use 409. 40, let's see, these 409, and it helps really quickly clean things up. I'll show you right here. As you can see, there's a lot of the rubber still left, but using a solution like 409 or something like that really helps it clean up. So you just have to get the initial stuff off, the large pieces, and then you can go ahead and try to clean up with a Q-tip with some solution like 409. All right, so this process usually takes only a few minutes of changing the belts once you get to this point, but because of the messy and melted rubber or the belt, it took a lot longer. But now that it's cleaned up, and it took a lot of um, stuff like Q-tips and stuff like that. As you can see, that was again a mess. But after all that, it's all nice and clean. We can now go ahead and put the belts on, and I'll show you that process. We use, or you're going to be using square belts. You could use the rounder belts, but the square belts is usually the stock for these things. You can find this online or at the electronics store, but you have to get the exact size or else it's got too much tension or it's too loose. So, but we'll show you how to, let me quickly do that. I usually take some needle nose like this and just hook that on. Well, let's do this. Let's go to the motor first. You can do this by hand or just by the needle nose or both. So just like that. I hope you saw that. But that's what it would be. Same thing here on this side. Try to do it. That. Get there you go. Hope you can see this. Around like that. All right, so now we've got both belts installed. Then basically it's time to put this all back. The bottom piece first, and then this top piece just going in reverse. Make sure you connect the wires that you detach, including the ribbon cable up here. We'll do that. So let me go ahead and pause this and get this all set back. Where's the pause? Okay, so I was able to put this back and this board back. And just a quick hint here that there is a small notch to make sure that it's properly sitting, like right there and right there. And then down up here, it's a little, basically, that it's a hole that for the notch to go or the piece of metal to go through, so it sits properly. So just a quick tip when you feel like, hey, how come it's not lining up, it's not sitting properly, you just need to make sure that the board sits on the notches and you're good to go. Like I mentioned here, that we need to make sure that these cables are connected back. So see how easy that was. And then same thing with the ribbon cable. It literally just slips right in, and then you push it down and you're back. It's back together. Again, these wires, you just need to twist it back in. There you go. And then the plastic piece goes back. So what I'd like to do first is let's check it out to see if what we did works. So let's put this piece back down. You don't necessarily have to screw it back on, but you just need to place it back. This, it sits there and there. And then this ribbon cable it gets pushed back, and hopefully when we reconnect this thing, that everything is working even without this piece, because this is just a protective piece. Before we put that back, let's go ahead and plug it in. Okay. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you can see there. I'm going to turn this off again and then turn it back on. Okay. Now, let's see if the door opens, because, oh, it does. Because it was getting an error. There's really nothing wrong with the door belt, as you can see there. Let's go ahead and put a CD. All right, let's go ahead and put it on slot 1. Make sure the face is pointing to the right. Let's go ahead and hit this button to close it. There it is. You can see there, table of contents red, and then you could hit the play button. There you go. Stop it. Okay, let's go ahead and hit it again. You could see this whole thing work. So we're golden now. This thing works and plays. So I was supposed to do, there's another belt right under here for the door. Again, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. That usually doesn't get affected too much. It's not like those belts. But I will do another video to access the belt, and if you need to replace the belt, I can do that. But usually you take that off, you take these 2 screws up, and this pulls up. This actually starts to hang. Actually, it doesn't pull up, but it hangs, and then you pull this carousel up and out, and then you'll get exposed to the mechanism for the door. And the belt is just about the same size. I think it's a little smaller, but obviously this doesn't require a replacement. But I will probably open this up since I'm already here, but it'll be a different video. But again, this thing seems to be working nicely. As you can see there. And it's playing. All right, anyway, that's pretty much it for at least this portion of the repair or installation of a new door belts. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and possibly join the channel. That's Beyond Soup, where I put up all sorts of stuff. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next video.